Students, I welcome you all in today's video on explanation of Raman effect in terms of polarizability. So as in the previous video, we have already studied in detail what is Raman spectroscopy, what is Raman spectrum, Raman effect, and we have also studied that this spectroscopy is a bit different from that of your vibrational and rotational spectroscopy. In this spectroscopy, we deal with the scattering of radiation, not with the absorption of radiation, right? And when your photon it hits your molecule, what happen that the scattered radiation it undergoes changes in the frequency. Either the frequency of a scattered radiation it is greater than that of the incident one, or either it is lesser than that of the incident photon, right? And that change takes place only when there is a kind of inelastic collision between your photon and your molecule. Inelastic collision means there is exchange of energy between the photon and your molecule. So if your molecule gives energy to your photon, then definitely energy of photon will increase and it will scatter with a greater frequency. And if your that photon it transfers some energy to your molecule, then definitely that photon will scatter with some lesser energy as compared to the incident photon. The other case was that suppose your molecule is at some level E1, some level E2, let it, okay, and your radiation, your electromagnetic radiation it is hitting that molecule, and definitely when it hits the molecule it will get excited to some higher energy level. Okay, so when it comes back to the ground state, suppose it get excited to E6 level and it comes back to the same level from which it gets excited, so in that case we have no change in the frequency and we will have the Rayleigh scattering, right? So if we have the molecule it stay at some virtual energy level, not comes back to the E2 level, so in that case it will definitely emit less energy, right? Less energy as compared to with the energy with which it get excited. So in that case we will obtain the Stokes line. Stokes line. So if your molecule which get excited to the E6 level, it comes back not to the E2 level but some other lower level, let it be E1. So in that case, more energy is emitted as compared to the one which is with which the molecule it gets excited. So okay, in that case, the molecule will emit energy from itself also. So in that case, we obtain the anti-Stokes line. So this hitting of molecule by the photon, it leads to some kind of distortion in the molecule, distortion in the electrons of the molecule, so which leads to the polarizability. Polarizability deals with the distortion of the electrons which are present between the atoms, between the bonded atoms in the molecule. So this leads to further dipole moment, creation of dipole moment in the molecule. So dipole moment is given by mu is equal to alpha E, where mu is the dipole moment of your molecule, and alpha is the polarizability, and E is your electric field. Okay, depending upon how much electric field you are applying, that will leads to the distortion of the electrons in the molecule, and more is the distortion, more is the polarizability of the molecule, more is the polarizability, and more readily a dipole means separation of charges, dipole is formed in the molecule. So today we'll study that in which case that polarizability is higher, in which case that polarizability is lesser. So for that we are applying here the classical theory of Raman spectroscopy. Okay, you know that classical theory it deals with the wave nature of your electromagnetic radiation. So very first case which we are taking is the case of static field. Okay, static field is that which is not changing. Okay, suppose just consider myself as a molecule. So if some field is applying, you're applying some field on me, I definitely know that I have to move on toward the positive side, okay, toward the positive end of electric field. So in that case the picture is very clear. So similarly, if we have some we are taking a molecule, let it be hydrogen, so you know very well that electrons are present here in this bond, right? And you are applying a static electric field, and you know very well that the field is like here is a positive, definitely electric field, electric vector is moving this side along the axis of axis of the molecule. So you are applying the parallel field to this axis. Okay, so here is the negative end. So in that case, these electrons, they will get displaced more toward the positive end, right? They will shift more toward the positive end of your electric field, for so that will lead to the kind of dipole in the molecule, like partial negative on this hydrogen, partial positive on this hydrogen, right? So this is the case when you are applying the field, static field, parallel to the axis of the molecule. Now let it field is still toward this direction. I'm just orient my molecule. Okay, I'm just trying to orient my molecule. Let it be like this. Okay, so still electrons are like this in between these atoms, in between these nucleus of these two hydrogen atom. So in that case, these electrons also try to move toward the positive end. So something like this distortion like this takes place. So if they try more to repair, more to goes toward the this positive end, what will happen? The bond will get break. The bond between the hydrogen atom will get break. So that's why we can say that in case the field is perpendicular, the field is perpendicular to the axis, the in that case what happen, the electron distortion is not that easier when the your field is parallel to your this axis of the molecule. Okay, so that means the polarizability is higher in case of this, when we have your electric field parallel to the axis of the molecule, as compared to the case when we have electric field parallel to perpendicular to the axis of the molecule. So it can be given by, it can be given as this, that alpha parallel is greater than alpha perpendicular. Okay, so we can draw here one polarizability ellipsoid. Okay, so polarizability ellipsoid is that, like if I'm going to take the two orientation that I have already drawn before, like here hydrogen molecule and hydrogen molecule. So I'm just going to join these atoms. So while after joining these atoms, I will get this ellipsoid shape, this ellipsoid, this oval kind of shape. This is called polarizability ellipsoid. Now why this is called polarizability ellipsoid? Because this is going to tell me about the polarizability of the molecule. Like here you can see this axis is bit smaller, so let it minor axis. I just name this minor axis, and I'm going to name this major axis, the which axis which is bit greater in length as compared to this axis. So major axis, as already we have studied, that when field is parallel to the axis, when it is, when a molecule is placed like this, okay, so parallel field is there and polarizability is easier. So minor axis depict the more polarizability of the molecule, whereas major axis, it depicts, it reveals the lesser polarizability of the molecule. So you can say that axis length, it is indirectly, it is inversely, it is inversely proportional to the electron cloud. When we are talking about electron cloud, that means the distortion of electron, that means we are talking about the polarizability. So lesser is the length, more is the polarizability. Okay, so this is the case of static electric field. Now let's move to the other case, that is the case of oscillating electric field. Oscillating electric field means the changing electric field. When your incoming electric field is oscillating, is changing, is not static, means at the moment the positive end is here, then very next moment the positive end is here. Okay, so accordingly there will be oscillation in the molecule. Definitely there, the motion of molecule will also get changed. Okay, so if now there is a positive end here, so I will definitely move toward this end. On the very next moment when the positive end is here, I need to move to that side. Similarly in the molecule such things happen. So when your electric field is oscillating, your electric field is changing, that will leads to the oscillation in your molecule. That means the electrons have to vibrate, electrons have to rotate. Okay, so vibrational frequency, the frequency with which your electrons in the molecule, they will show the motion, that directly depends upon the vibration of your incident photon, vibration of your incoming radiation. Okay, so vibrational frequency of electron, it depends upon the frequency of radiation. So it can be given by this equation, that is E is equal to E naught cos 2 pi mu t, where mu is the frequency of radiation, that is the frequency with which that radiation is falling on me, the radiation is falling on the molecule. Okay, so that is the frequency of radiation, and E is the electric field, right? And T is the time for which that frequency is hitting me, frequency is hitting the molecule. So you have already this mu is equal to alpha E equation. Now you can put the value of E, that is your electric field, in this equation. So alpha, you know very well, is the polarizability. So you should remember. Okay, so after putting the value of this electric field, you will get the equation number 3, that is mu is equal to alpha dot, that is alpha into E naught cos 2 pi mu t. So you must remember that this is the case when your field is oscillating. So that means your electrons are not static, your electrons are also oscillating depending upon the field, your electric field frequency. And definitely when your electrons are not static, electrons are also oscillating, your polarizability will also not remain same, your polarizability will also keep on changing. So that means in that case we also have to specify this value alpha, this value polarizability, in case we have the oscillating electric field and your molecule is also oscillating. Okay, so one thing we just specify here, that is the value of E, electric field value, that we have put on E naught sine 2 pi mu t. And remember, mu is the frequency of your incident light. Okay, so now in the next video we are going to study about this, how polarizability it changes by the oscillating electric field. Okay, so this was all about just an idea that oscillation in the electric field leads to oscillation in the molecule and change in the polarizability. So thank you so much.